Coach, so can we just get your opening thoughts on what it's like to get back out here after being off for 2 weeks?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Our guys have brought great energy every practice, and today was over the top special as far as just the focus and the effort. And the guys were here definitely early, and we got practice rolling a few minutes before even what it was scheduled, and I brought them all together because I could just feel the excitement to be back out here. It's been 2 weeks, and that's really cool because football needs to be fun. It needs to be something that every day when we come here, we're really excited to get better. And man, I was just really pleased with the energy and the focus, and that carried over throughout the entire practice.
For a day like today, Coach, where you have had the last 2 weeks off and now you got to ramp up for 10 more practices in a 2.5, 3 week stretch, was today just kind of get the feel of it back together, or did you pick up right where you left off?
I really feel like we picked up where we left off. We did not really install too much. A lot of it was review of the first 4 practices, but we had some chances to have a few meetings earlier in the week, and we got some runs and lifts in. Socially distant out here, and so the guys I think had the right mindset. It wasn't just all of a sudden today was the first day we were back together. We were doing Zoom calls and things like that yesterday and so forth. So I really feel like the guys had kind of ramped up, gotten away from the spring break feel, and we're ready to get better today.
So what's the goal for the next, because now you're going to have like 1 or 2 days off before you get back to regular practices. What's the goal between now and April 30th?
Yeah, so we do a little bit of move the ball and kind of situational work, but next Friday we'll have a big scrimmage, and the Fridays after that, the second one will probably be a little bit smaller, and then of course our spring preview at the end will be a big scrimmage very similar to next Friday. So there's so many things that we're talking about just sitting in meetings this morning that we probably maybe got to last fall in our teaching, but we weren't able to emphasize it like we're able to emphasize and then carry it on the field and teach right now. So it just feels really good to see the guys developing, if you took a class in college, it's not just the 100 level, we're on the 200 and 300 level as far as the install and the details and the emphasis points that we're making in our coaching.
Was there anyone that stood out today? Anybody that you want to single out for having a really good practice?
It seemed like Zane Pope was having a lot of touches, a lot of big plays throughout the course of the day. So, you watch the film, and I'm watching both sides of the ball, but it seemed like he was around, and I saw a couple tip balls by the defense, guys getting into position, and a couple ended up in the defense's lap, but making plays. I just thought it was a good team practice today, both sides of the ball. I really like how we can practice hard and go against each other hard, but we're very conscious of making sure we're protecting each other, and so there's a good team vibe going with that, and we're competing and we're banging heads and all the good football stuff that comes along with practice and playing, but in the end I like our ability to hold up when we have to and realize that the next play and having that guy practice the next rep is most important.
I was going to say, I think it's 21 of 22 starters back this year. Is it as simple as just kind of penciling those guys in for the starting role, or how do you look at the starters for this season?
No, I don't think so. And I think just in general, no matter where I've been, I've always felt like every year is a new year. I've had teams where you have a lot of returners, and in the end we've become successful, but sometimes they think it just happens, and you can never assume that. There's just enough differences from each year to the next when you lose guys. The dynamics change. You have different leaders, and just a couple different playmakers, and even in schemes. There might be a few things you do a little bit differently because you lost a guy that was a featured player. So every year is its own year. We start over from scratch, from setting the standards in January and how we're going to operate, whether it's conditioning, whether it's our team sessions. It all starts over every single year for us. So to get back to your question, I think that our guys understand that every single day they got to prove it, and we have enough depth right now. It's in most positions, not in every position, but in most positions to where there's a lot of competition happening. So some guys are trying to win positions that we're taken by guys who are still returning.
how are you guys handling the spring high school football season? Because you're not allowed to go out and actually
No.
recruit, right? Is it just like they don't even exist to you right now? How do you guys
No,
approach
they
that?
definitely exist because we're watching the film the next morning.
Okay.
You know, and with our recruiting department, and then working very closely with each side of the ball. You know, we know which films we need to be watching as a staff. We have time reserved every single day to do recruiting and focus on most of the time right now watching film, but also contacting coaches, prospects, their parents. We set aside some time every single day on both sides of the ball to not just focus on football, but focus on recruiting.
But you're not physically allowed to be there, right?
No, yeah, it's a dead period. Yep.
Coach, on social media, it looked like Logan Fife got to go out to Trent Dilfer's high school over spring break and then work with some NFL guys. Is there anything else you can share about that experience?
I don't know a lot about it right now, but I know Trent's been a great supporter. We, you know, throw text messages and have talked a few times, you know, recently. So, you know, Trent's obviously got his number up in this stadium, and he's a loyal fan, I know. So I appreciate him a lot, and anything he can do as far as giving our guys some pointers, I know I'll trust whatever he gives us.